What is SEBI? Why SEBI is in news? What is SAT, Securities Appellate Tribunal? What are the functions and powers of SEBI and SAT? Can the judgment of SAT be challenged in higher courts? Let's deconstruct the whole news, and where it is important, we'll see into our today's topic. Let's begin. So here, before we start, today's topic, as I've told you, it's SEBI and SAT. Let's first read the newspaper cutting. Here it talks about Supreme Court. So first thing, Supreme Court set aside fraud finding in 2007 RPL future trading case. So what was it? The Supreme Court on Friday provided relief to Reliance Industries Limited by overturning findings of fraud arrived at by Securities and Exchange Board in connection with Reliance Petroleum Limited futures trading on November 2007. So it's an old case. Okay. The court also set aside the market regulator direction to RIL to disgorge 447 crores. A bench led by Justice J.B. Pardiwala in a judgment concluded that SAT, Securities Appellate Tribunal, committed an egregious error. So the judgment was overturned by the Supreme Court in its finding of fraud against RIL under the Securities and Exchange Board of India prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices relating to security markets regulations, or SEBI PFUTF regulation. So this was the case. So why I thought that this is important, because we know that now in prelims already questions related to SEBI has been asked, and now they are asking us more about securities and commodities markets, different types of markets, debt markets, capital markets, etc., and even different types of bonds. Okay, but here today we will only talk about SEBI and SAT, right? So let's see, what are we going to study today? Our agenda is introduction of SEBI and SAT, functions, powers and relationship, and exam focus. So I'll keep it very precise, and so that we can complete only 2 or 3 topics per video. I can understand if I start teaching all these things in detail, the video might go beyond 1 hour. So let's keep it precise. Let's continue. So let's see, introduction. So first, why SEBI and SAT matters. What is the need? So connects polity and economy. Capital market shapes governance debates on transparency, accountability, and public trust. Market regulation links directly to economic growth, savings, and investment flows. Recurring UPSC touchpoints. SEBI and SAT feature in prelims concept, mains governance answers and interview, current affairs like scams, reforms, and investor issues, revive questions repeatedly. Built answer ready clarity. Clear concepts helps you justify regulation as investor protection plus market development. So I think there was one question asked with respect to, does SEBI educate the investor? It was asked in prelims, and the answer was yes. You can write balance points on enforcement, rights, and reforms outcomes. Let's see what is the role. So now we'll see role at glance. What does SEBI do? SEBI oversees India's security market to keep them orderly. Not just securities like stocks, etc., but even commodities. You might see now gold, silver, petroleum products, all are traded on SEBI or SEBI platforms, right? And SEBI looks after all those things, right? It sets rules for how market raise money and trade fairly. Who it protects and regulates? It protects investors by curbing misleading sales and unfair practices. It regulates market intermediaries, ensures basic conduct and disclosure. Why it matters? Improves transparency, reduces information gap, and builds confidence. Strong trust supports deeper market and better capital formation. Now let's see SEBI one by one. 1988 to 1992, how it changed. So 1988, an initial watchdog, began as a non-statutory body to oversee market. Its early role focused on guiding conduct without full legal backing. And later on, we saw the famous Harshad Mehta case, where he found the loopholes and amassed a lot of wealth. After that, it was required that we have something which is statutory in nature. So that therefore we came up with SEBI Act 1992, and now it's a statutory body that is most important. This enabled clearer rules, stronger enforcement of compliances. Why the shift matters? It signals India's move to a tighter rule-based financial governance, most important. Better institutional strength, improved market trust, and investors' confidence. Now, functions, powers, and relationship. Before that, let's see some of the other newspapers, which is very, very important for us. This news is about India's FNO, futures and options boom, needs adequate protection. See, here at their core, FNO contracts are derivatives. What are derivatives? You need to read about it. They allow investors to buy, sell, or lock in price of an underlying asset such as stock, index, or commodity at future date without actually owning it. While institutions use these instruments to hedge existing portfolios against market downturn, many retail participants are drawn to them solely to speculate. Now here, the most important data which has been provided. Let's see. According to SEBI report, the average investor driving this frenzy is overwhelmingly male, 86% male, hails from small tier 2 and tier 3 cities, earns less than 5 lakh per month. So why this was in news? Because there was a lot of people who lost their money, and FNO is being allowed in India, which is more or less equivalent to gambling. If somebody, if nobody has a knowledge about the marketing, it's pure speculation. People can lose money, they can win big, right? So we always have the tendency to make quick money, right? So people go in here and try to make quick bucks, but finally they end up losing all. So this is all about that FNO. As July 2025, SEBI revealed that over 90% of individual traders incurred heavy losses over the 4-year period. Aggregate retail losses surpassed, see the amount, aggregate retail losses surpassed 2.8 lakh crore. Okay. And now here there is some other things what we have to learn. Please read the newspaper, this whole cutting. I will not cover the whole newspaper here, but it's a very, very important newspaper cutting for you. Now this is about GS-3 moves SAT against SEBI in price manipulation case. Now this was a very infamous case. GS-3 is a US company and they rigged the market. So they manipulated the market in such a way that they made around 36,000 crores. And how they did it, SEBI got to know later once this whole act was done, right? And now finally SEBI asked them to pay around 6,000 crore as penalties and fines, but still they managed to get 30,000 crore from Indian market. This is a US company, GS-3. Just read about it if you are more interested about it, right? So moves SAT against SEBI in price manipulation case. So I thought this two news should be added so that you can understand. Now let's see. SEBI's core function sets fair play rules, protects investors, regulate intermediaries, ensures disclosure, supervise compliances, and develops market ecosystem. So this is the core function. Let's see more what all it does. Rule-making authority. SEBI frames regulation that sets disclosure, conduct, and compliance standard. Regulates securities and commodities, most important. Investor education through IPF, Investor Protection Education Fund. It comes under Companies Act. Then regulating derivatives like green bonds, alternative investment funds, etc. Next, supervision and investigation. SEBI inspects exchange and intermediaries to detect irregularities. It investigates suspected violation to build evidence and fix market abuse. Regulations of stock exchange through Security Contract Regulation Act 1956. This is also very, very important. Next, enforcement action. SEBI can levy penalties and direct corrective actions for non-compliances. So giving license and taking back, right, deregistering, it's all with the SEBI. It may restrain entities from accessing market to protect integrity. Next, let's see. SAT. Now, what is SAT? Securities Appellate Tribunal. We have seen SAT is a dedicated tribunal for disputes in security ecosystem. It provides for faster expert forum than a regular civil court. It has the power of civil court. So if you have any problem with the SEBI's judgment, you can go to SAT. And if, let's say, SEBI has given something like how we have seen GS-3 case, so SEBI gave certain judgment and it went to SAT. And even if you're not happy with the SAT, you can go to high courts or supreme courts. Okay. What does SAT do? It hears appeals against SEBI orders and other market regulatory action. It checks whether order follows due process and are well reasoned. Why SAT matters? It strengthens accountability by reviewing enforcement and penalties. It improves market confidence by ensuring fair, consistent decisions. It is formed through under one of the section of SEBI Act itself. Next, let's see how SEBI and SAT works. SEBI, first level decision maker. SAT checks SEBI's order and the relation. SEBI ensures swift regulation while SAT adds accountability and fairness. Let's exam focus, where we have to focus more. Focus areas: high frequency prelims covers SEBI mandates, key functions and whom it regulates. Revised legal base, SEBI Act, core enabling provisions. This all you need to read more. I'm just giving you an overview, what can be asked and why it was there in the news. Your duty should be to go in depth. Within this 15 to 20 minutes of videos, what I can do is I can touch all the horizontals. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the horizontals, but you need to go into the verticals and cover all the horizontals in a vertical manner, right, like this. So please do that. And if you have any doubt how to do it, you can definitely reach on my number. I will definitely help you on this matter, right? Then institutional differentiation. Be clear on regulator versus tribunal. This is most important. Regulatory authorities and tribunal is 100% question in paper 2. And this whole thing, what we are reading right now, it will come under GS2. Sorry, not paper 2, GS2. So economy, even the polity, the governance part. So GS2, GS3, and even in GS4, ethics, ethical governance. So you can understand that this one concept can be asked in any of these 3 papers. So you need to read. And this regulators versus tribunals, 100% question in GS2. You will see a question in 2026 also now in mains. Okay. I'm definitely sure that there will be a question on this. Then SEBI orders, SAT appeal, higher judicial review. Then what are the challenges? First challenge is market manipulation. And this is one of the bigger problem what we have today, because retailers are losing their money exponentially. And we don't understand that the big players are different and the retailers just, they are there to lose their money. So we need to educate, the traders about it, like how to read the market, right? Then insider trading. This is again, SEBI looks into this. Financial innovation, compliance supervision, growth versus regulation. So these are the challenging areas, why it persists, and exam angle, you need to just read about it. This is for your mains. Try to prepare at least 2 to 3 pages for your mains, connecting all the things with any acts like SCRA Act, Company Act, SEBI Act, all those acts you need to read it in detail. Okay. Now let's see, learn more. Here there are 14 items which I have added so that you can read one by one. I have not covered in my video today. What is capital market, what is primary market, secondary market, what is the difference between bill and bonds, social stock exchange, zero coupon, zero principal instruments, debt market, green bonds, social bonds, yellow bonds, blue bonds, sovereign green bonds, corporate bonds, and masala bonds. I just want you guys to go through this. If time permits, I will make a whole video on all these things and upload it on YouTube. Just let me know, write it down in the comment section below if you are interested. Then I will make a video on this, explaining each and everything in detail. Okay. Now, way forward, this is like you just need to understand how these are linked and why it is important for us to learn. The problem with SEBI is one of the problem is that it has domination of government people. So the central government actually takes care of everything from appointment and removal. So that's where the problem lies. We need someone from outside who can help the SEBI and the SEBI functionaries, or the function of SEBI can be smoothened. And we need to be on par with the markets, or let's say technology. Why? Because technology evolves faster than law. So how things are changing, AI algorithms and etc. So we need to understand that we need to keep up our laws along with how the technologies are evolving, right? So I hope you understand this. This can be asked even in essay, right? Okay, so this is it for today. And please feel free to contact me and join my initiative. I'm taking online classes right now. Polity and economy is going on. So please and subscribe to my channel to learn more. Thank you.